My name is Eric. I'm making a game. This game is called The Godkiller. It's a 3D game. It is a top-down, relentlessly top-down game. You solve puzzles in it. There's story also. There's an adventure to it. And it's all about the conflict between a woman who's born into an afterlife and... or maybe it's not an afterlife, maybe it's just the reality that came after the one she was previously in. And okay, anyways, it's all about the conflict between her and God, or at least the God of this world. And the title kind of implies that maybe she's going to go kill God. I can't spoil anything, but that's a possibility. Alright, so that's a little introduction of the game, and why don't I demo it? It's not Manifold Garden, that's my wallpaper. Let me set up my broadcasting correctly so that it shows the game, which is a Unity developed game. It's got hold on a second. There we go. Alright, let's hit play. Let's show it. Okay, so this is a junk level. It's like where I throw in a bunch of elements to just test things out. So I fixed a bunch of bugs yesterday. In fact, I fixed all of them, or at least all the ones I know about. So the main ones that I fixed were ones related to... it takes such a long explanation. I'll say the internal data structures which store the locations of floors and ceilings were getting confused by these blocks. And there were some different bugs related to that. Okay. So if I go north, I think I get knocked over the side. So don't go north. It was kind of fun watching this other enemy of mine, the heavy, knock around these lesser enemies. So this guy's chasing behind the heavy, but all I need to do to get him a big punch in the face is go the opposite direction. And then the heavy just smashes him out of the way because this dude happens to be in his path. So I love what a brute this heavy guy is. And he's oversized. But I made some code that will cause him to squeeze in when he's close to something else that his arm might go through. I'm kind of proud of that little touch. Oh, got knocked around a little bit there. Another thing I did was make it so that creatures cannot be reborn inside of the egg that M is going to be reborn from. So if I die, I come up here to this egg. If other creatures die, they'll go to one of the other eggs. This fixes a number of problems, but most of them could be summed up as it's just too friggin' cluttered around the egg, and bad things happen when M is born there. So it makes this kind of a safe zone for M to be born at when she dies. and solve some weird edge cases that I didn't really want to have heavy-handed solutions to. There's now an indicator when you try to move a way that you can't, that's blocked. It's that big X thing. It's kind of interesting. I'm pushing the block towards the heavy, but he just knocks it right back at me immediately. I can see by the silhouettes that there's two brawlers up at the top of this tower to the north, and they can't come down, so they're stuck up there. I can walk over here and I can see their silhouettes move too. So they're stuck up there. That's kind of neat. So it's just the heavy messing with me now. I do like this thing where there's a directional shadow that's always the same on every level. I think I might keep it always in the same direction because it gives you information that you learn to make use of if there's consistency. On the other hand, it might be a better aesthetic choice to vary it from time to time. I'll have to see how that goes. But I do like the idea of keeping it the same. If not all the time, most of the time. So the heavy will just, unlike the brawlers, he'll just jump down long distances to follow you around. So there he just died, and he was reborn. Where do you get reborn? Oh, he's up here. I think I saw one more is down the ground someplace. Yeah, there's one guy down here too. Which I could lead him to some spikes, and he would go back up to one of these eggs, probably this one. Anyways, the heavy is off over here, and he will come down and rejoin me, because he, unlike these other two, can jump off the side of ledges. There he is. Alright, I'm kind of having fun just playing around with this, but I need to actually do some work. So, thus concludes the demo portion. Now I need to move on. I'll tell you one other thing. There's a contest that I made on a forum called Caravel Forum or Drod Forum. And I had made some rooms that look like rooms in this other game for Drod. And I was really pretty careful with it. I actually removed one of my streams that gave a little bit of a clue as to what one of these rooms was in advance. And I thought I'd been pretty careful, but somebody spotted it and like immediately guessed the answer to the hardest question in the whole contest. So the contest is identifying the rooms from Drod, this other game that I created a long time ago, that look like the levels that I've made inside of the Godkiller. And I tell you, that guy didn't need much to figure it out. So Drod people are pretty friggin' smart. pretty good at figuring out puzzles and riddles and stuff like that. I've created a replacement challenge for that one. But the original one, so if I go to my channel, let's take a look at this guy here. Now it doesn't matter, I can show it without any issue. Let's go ahead and I'll watch this one. Okay, now I'm going to give you the big tour. You still might not get it. It's hard. It's hard in at least two ways. This guy talking is a complete idiot. I'd say half of what you see is faithful to the original, and the other half is just implied. Like if I want to make something that is complete, then there's got to be some other bits to it that maybe the original did not describe. This guy never shuts up. He just like keeps on saying whatever he thinks is clever. He's a real idiot. He acts like everybody's hanging on his every word, like it really matters. You know, it's just got something wrong with his brain, I think. This part definitely has nothing to do with the original. Maybe I'm just showing it off. God. All right. So let's give you one more good, generous look at it. Good luck. All right. Enough of that. So that originally came from a piece of artwork that I believe Mike Reimer made. I go to the contest. We're in the 8th. See, here's all the hints that will be unlocked as time passes by. So the first one is in 2 days. For someone watching this who is not a Drawd player, this contest would be very hard for you to participate in. So I won't try to pitch it at the world in general. Okay, where is his cleverness? It is a spoiler. Mild spoiler. So if you are committed to learning all the secrets of the second sky, all the little bonus things, hit pause, hit stop, skip past this part. I'll show it briefly. So there's a drawing somebody made. I think it was Mike Reimer. It looks like his art style. He was into this kind of stuff. And then I just took this and I created it inside of the Godkiller. It was kind of a fun challenge because this isn't like entirely correct perspective. There's a little bit of MC Escher style messing around with how things connect. So when you make all these parts, like this part here does not neatly connect up with this part. There's actually a large amount of travel here from here to here along one axis. But over here, there's a bit of a cheat. and it looks like this ledge here is right underneath the one above, but that would actually be impossible in Euclidean space. So it was fun. It was challenging to put that together. I'm glad I made it. It was fun. I can use it inside the Godkiller in a proper level too. It just needs a little spiffing up. All right, put that spoiler away. Now, the thing I need to think about is sort of the meta screens that go into the game. Because I'm getting to a point now where I want to distribute a playable demo of this. And I need enough that you can get into the game and you can do a few things that people expect to be able to do. You can exit out of it. You can get to some settings. I do have a restore screen already. This guy here. And it is meant to show all of the levels that you've been to before and offer a way to really quickly move to the level that you want to go to. And I've tested this out with adding, like 80 or so levels in it. And there's pretty satisfying control to it. You can hold down the key, and even though this collection of sample levels is really small, if it was really large, you'd be able to kind of accelerate and get going really fast down this little hallway. And then as soon as you let off the gas, it slows down gradually. So it feels pretty nice. It's kind of fun. When you finally pick something, it loads the level. There it is. So that's a totally different level. I'm going to escape again. And I stole this idea of the floor that kind of recedes into a little enclosure from a movie called Time Bandits. There's a really cool scene, which I'm not going to play again because last time I got like some little copyright notice type thing from YouTube. There's a cool scene where a boy and a bunch of little people escape from his bedroom by going to one of the walls and just pushing on it, and it makes like a tunnel in the direction that they're pushing. It's just the same as this effect. All right, so let me go to the second level. Okay, so there's that thing. It also can be used to restore the current level that you're on. So say I made a few moves in this level and I just wanted to start over. I can just reload the level that way. There I am. Although I really don't want to encourage use of restoring, so it's purposefully not a real prominent feature. You have to kind of get out of where you're at and go to the screen. And okay, so there's some things that games have that are very typical that I don't like. Really long introductory cutscenes. Cutscenes in general. I'm going to see if I can get through this entire game without any cutscenes, but tons of story. It's a sensibility that has served me well in the Drod series. It's something that people have noticed and liked. It's something I like a lot. I kind of hate parts where you got to wait for a bit of story to unfold. It's important to whoever wrote it and crafted it, but maybe not important to you, and you're feeling impatient and you just like to get playing. Also, I kind of hate all those little extra screens that get put at the very beginning that say like this publisher, this studio, ESRB, and you have to click or wait through 3 to 5 of these screens before you can get to the game. Those screens are never important to me. I might have to show an ESRB screen. I might have to, just as a requirement for using their logo. I might have to put in a little splash screen for a distributor or publisher. I don't want to, but whatever that initial load is, I want to get through it as fast as possible. I want the player to, by default, when they start up the game, just be at the place they were last in the game. Now, if they're playing the game for the very first time, it also feels appropriate to me to just start them on the very first level of the game. Just start them there. To me, ideally, if I could swing it, I'd say you launch the game, and the next thing you see is you're in the game. So I'm going to try for that. So that means there's no title screen to start out with. There's no title screen. Just start. Just be in the game when the game launches. So your entry point to like the meta actions, settings, restore level, would be clicking escape, and you're at this screen. It feels to me like there needs to be something from this screen to get you to settings. Now I do have up and down being my level selection. I don't need left and right for this. You think so? How can I beat that though? How can I beat that? Because I really do like the idea you're just in the game. Because I feel like it's better. It's a better experience. Maybe people just are trained to sort of want that little preamble at the beginning. Maybe they're right in wanting that preamble, but for me it feels like, wouldn't it be cool if it's just like the game just starts? That's a possibility. So let's do an example of that. I think I think you might be onto something there. I shouldn't have covered up that assertion. So if I take my player cam, start it kind of way up. It's probably gonna be a little bit crazy. And play it. I could do something like a zoom in on the. I have to slow it down a little bit. Man, you got good ideas. That's actually a pretty solid idea. So let's say this be skip. Okay, there's no title screen, but there is this animation. It's over pretty quick, but there is a little bit of flair to it, and that gets past the idea like they're just being lazy. There'll be some amount of flair to it. Maybe it's done in 15 seconds or something like that, and then like the camera kind of, it's all in world too, and then the camera kind of maybe settles on the player, and you can control her immediately. So she's actually born inside of like a bright white space. That's the egg that she's born inside of. You can do some things with that. About like a bright white space, and there's just like a little speck far below, and you notice you can control it. You can move it around a little bit, but the camera like is slowly moving towards it, slowly, and all the time you're able to control this little speck. Eventually it zooms all the way down there, and then while it's doing that, there could be, a little bit of title text, just so it looks like an introduction. You know what? I'm going to start a new level just to play with this. Okay, let's get rid of a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's just get rid of all this stuff. All I really need is this. I just need something to start with. But I don't need to make it ridiculously huge. Okay, where's the player at? Where's the camera? Boom. Should be way down there. Okay, so if I make this much slower. I don't know if this is even used. Let me check. Make it maybe a whole bunch slower. Or that might be faster, I don't know. Let's go that way. There we go. Well, it needs more of a even slower camera. All right, so let me set the limit on this guy so it's not so restricted. Yeah, I can make the camera start even further away. So let's go player cam. As long as I don't. All right, that should still be fine. Let's just make this go out far. Hey, see? What? Oh, come on. I didn't ask for anything that hard, did I? I've got this light next to me that's rotating its color. I'm waiting for it to get to red so I can make it stay on red. But then I stop looking at it and then it goes past red. I think red's coming up. Did I really just crash Unity with like a little quad? I mean, it's just, why? What's the ruckus? Okay, here we go. Dang it, it went past the red light again. I gotta wait for it to get back to the red light. Blundyton. I'm not doing bad. I feel pretty good. My main problem is that I've got this light and it keeps on going past the color I want. It's hard for me to display it on the camera. There we go. Stop there. Stop on red. So I can have... Dang it, you went past red again. Dang it. Might have to get a new colored light. Colored light was supposed to do something psychologically to me so that when I'm not doing my day job work at my desk and I'm doing my own fun stuff like I am right now, that it would put me in a different mode. Okay, there's red. There, I just want red. Just give me red. I think I got it. Alright, cool. Alright, so my engine's not handling this giant space very well. I might want to do something else. Okay, so the idea is at the very beginning of the game, you've got this little speck, and then it slowly comes down on it. And there'll be maybe some narrator saying some cool shit. And then thanks, E. And then some kind of, transition to the first level proper. Vaquix just, this other fellow or lady on the chat, whoever, has given me some pretty good feedback. So I wanted to not have any menu screen or title screen or anything at the beginning. And he said, it's on the chat, but it's a pretty good comment. It says, title screens are good for first impressions. If you just start in the game, it makes the devs look lazy. And so we kind of talked for a little bit, and he convinced me that there might be something to that. So I'm thinking, the first time you play the game, there'll be some kind of transition, but I wanted it to be you're immediately able to play, even if it is clear it's an introductory transition. So just did a little test, and I can kind of picture it, that you'd be like a little speck far away, and then the camera would gradually zoom in just like it was doing now. Anyways, it was a good exercise, a good bit of discovery there. I think this level is not structured in a good way for my engine, which is a whole different thing. Let's make it not so large. I think my data structures are having a hard time with it. Not Unity, not the... So the stuff for just loading in the geometry into the scene, it's not anything taxing, but I've got my own data structures which are for representing the board, and that does seem to be a big problem. So let's just pull this in to a smaller area that the player can walk on. I can also do things like the player walks to a certain point in this direction, just kind of flip her over to the other side and let her let's see, is that where she's centered? Yeah, okay. I've got this other thing, which is kind of weird. Shared materials, blue light. Turn the renderer off. Okay. Let's get rid of the background. Won't need it. Oh, I need that. Just this part though. Okay, let's delete those. Blundyton, how's school been going? Let me see. Hold on a sec. What are you studying? Are you like college or high school? Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, everyone's figuring out how to do all that online stuff all over the world. Did you do anything on your snake game? That's cool. Yeah, I know you were working on like kind of a classic Snake game, which is a good project for sure. Yeah, if you have any demos or things you want to show, let me know. I don't mind playing a video or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you're at in your pursuit of learning game development, but if you're in high school, I mean, like, I'm implying from that it's pretty early. So yeah, it sounds like you're taking those initial steps. You picked a game that's not like the hardest one to do, which is where everyone screws up when they get into game development. They say, oh, I'm going to make a massively multiplayer online game. I'll get all my friends to help me. And it's like the first game they've ever done. And it's like, why? No, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Getting the basics, that makes sense. So what I did here, since I saw that there were a lot of problems with my internal board structure, is I made one of these things that the player's on, which has the internal structure to it, and the rest are not included because I set the layer to be ignore raycast, which is a signal to my engine to not include that in the playable area. So this square here, this cuboid that the player can walk around in, is the proper level, and all this other stuff is just kind of background scenery. These are still really big panels. Maybe I'm doing this in kind of a stupid way, but let me... just grab this, pull it out. Yeah. Yeah, I should really only need 5 of these. The playable one, the real one, and then the 4 surrounding ones that are purely background. Let's get rid of this one. Well, man, we all gotta start somewhere. And I've been doing this, since I was your age. And I guarantee you, when I was your age, it would have been plenty challenging for me to make a little snake game. It would have been the right challenge for me at the age of, say, 15 or something like that. So don't ever feel bad about comparing yourself to what more advanced people are doing. But yeah, you can get there if that's what you want to do. Yeah, the other thing that people when they're starting out do that's just horrible, it's just beating themselves up, and I didn't have to worry about as much as looking at the giant gap between the games that you can make and the ones that people buy and pay money for and are become esports, or there's such a giant difference between what even someone like me who's done this for a long time can make, and like the whole team of a AAA production like Fortnite or whatever. And then starting out, you gotta learn like basics and stuff. It seems like you'll never get to a place where you could make games that were like the ones you really enjoy. But I don't know. There's limitations that are, your basic skills and capabilities, and there's economic limitations which are actually larger. Like if you wanted to make, even like something like Minecraft, which was kind of like a one-person game, but now it grew into something that a team maintains. Like you would need some serious money to do it. So that can be discouraging, but like a lot of people make really cool small games that are enjoyable and worthwhile. So like the indie way of doing it is definitely got its own strengths. Okay, so let me look at what the camera looks like. This always irritates me. So it should be seamless. It really should be. It's a repeating texture. Okay, there's one other way I can do this. I can get rid of the seams. I think it's actually simpler than what I originally did. Yeah. I feel like it's Unity's fault, but it's probably my fault in some way that I just don't understand yet. So, yeah, that little edge there. But I know how to fix it. It's just kind of irritating that I have to. Alright. But first off, I want to see what happens if I just hit play. I want to see if there's still that problem that I was trying to solve in the first place. So let's go ahead and I'll save. That wasn't as bad. Still, I'm kind of wondering if there was some... Okay, so this is set to default. That should be the sole playable area. This other stuff, ignore raycast, which excludes it from the playable area. Okay, got it. So what I want to do is turn the renderer off on this guy. Okay, but it'll be used to define the floor and the playable area. So I'll just turn the renderer off. So that creates like a big old hole in the floor. But I can take these guys, take one here, just drag it across. Now I don't have any seams. Okay. So now let me try this again. Actually, let me do one more thing. Let's add some markers so I can see where just while I'm testing this, where the limits of the floor are. Oh, I guess I did make a pretty big playable area. Oh man, I guess that is really big, even after I shrunk it down. No wonder it took so long. So what would be nice is if this area I made, if it was difficult to walk to the very edge of it in the amount of time I want to spend with zooming. That's why I'm putting these markers, so I can get an idea of where the drop-off point is. So, because this whole surface here is an illusion. It's not part of the playable area, so once I get to the edge of the playable area, I'll end up dropping off. I could hard code it in such a way where you just you don't use the same game logic as was present in the data structures to determine whether or not you're going to fall. But I would prefer to continue using that. Wait a minute, hold on. Alright, that's good enough. These are just temporary noise. Alright, so let's hit play. Okay, those are my bounds. So if I just kind of go pretty fast to the edge. There, I fell. And there's no egg, so it won't make me be born again. Dang it, my light turned off. There we go. need the red light. What if the thing that was coming down was, it was selecting her, it was grabbing her, it was, you know, it was pursuing her. Thank you. Yeah, that's the second one that I chose. The first one was annoying somebody, a stream chatter, and you convinced me it would get bothersome if you had to hear it for a lot. The second one I do like better. So this is kind of a, I gotta do some off-stream thinking about this too. I can't just cook it all up right here. Still, I think the basic parameters of this idea are good. And I gotta think, like, story-wise, what do I want happening while it zooms in like that? Like, what music do I want to play? What do I want the camera to be something sort of that is zooming in on her, sweeping her up? The next place she goes after this is she's born out of an egg. So I gotta think that through a little bit. I'm not gonna do that all on stream. Let me go to the other problem that I was working on. Let's save this. Go back to delete me 3. Okay. So once you're in the game proper, once you're there, you can hit the escape key. It brings up this, I'll call it the meta screen for now, which allows level selection. That first level that I was creating just now, I'm gonna call it In the Egg, I think. It'll be the very first one you can go to. The next one will be, well, they just continue like that. Okay. So then I wanted there to be a way to get to settings from this screen. Okay, let me take this screen into Photoshop, but I don't want to accidentally give a clue to drawed players that are involved in this contest that I was working on, so I gotta switch to my big stupid head view, and then bring up Photoshop and make sure there's nothing sensitive in it. Okay, there's not. so this is going to be a mock-up for a little bit of design work. I'll get rid of all the stuff that doesn't have to do with it. I don't know about this light, man. I got this light, and I keep on just like the wire in my mouse bumps against the button, and then it turns off, and I'm like, stupid light. I'm like messing around with it way too much. Okay, image crop. Okay, there we go. Get my light back on. Dang it. No, you went past red again. All right. So, could be some kind of graphic over here. I have a license to a bunch of royalty-free art. Kind of like this one. Something simple. How do I add this to my light box? They used to have light boxes. One with yeah, there we go. Can just add some. There's some that look kind of neat like these, but they're too complicated. All right, I'll just pick some from my light box. the background. This over here. Okay, I'm thinking of something even simpler than this graphic, which is, this is silly to go through all this just for this very simple shape, but I think it'll be right. I'll just get rid of this. And then let's convert this to a smart object so it can scale without losing information. Blending options. Should I stay with black and white? Here's what I'm picturing. While I'm scrolling up and down on this guy, I could hit the right arrow key and it would just move over away with the hallway moving off to the west. Then I transition to a different screen that shows the settings, but there would be another version of this arrow on that settings screen off to the left side. So let me make that icon too. I'm going to make this text kind of small because eventually it needs to be localizable, meaning other languages would have to fit there, like German, which has got really long words. Maybe that's a little too much. Let's go up a bit. I can also just use icons. I think that's better. I mean, this isn't a very complicated interface. People can figure it out. So let's go back to Dreams time. Settings, icon. Just this one looks pretty good. Let me try, maybe I can get away with film strip. I don't know, just as like a placeholder, I think this works fine. My favorite food, I like Indian food. Butter chicken, it's real good. But then if I had that every night, then I would switch my favorite food to something else. How about you? What the heck? I thought I downloaded this. Maybe I did not. think. Is it downloaded? Why? That's so weird. Yeah, that's the weird thing about saying what your favorite food is. As soon as I say it out loud, I picture only being able to eat that food. That would be terrible. It would turn any food that you enjoyed into some food you hated. Okay, why is it not letting me get the icon? I don't get it. I'll just grab a different one. That's better. I think now that I've got icons that the arrow doesn't have to be so friggin' wide, I'll end up squinching it down a little bit. And I think get rid of the part which makes it look like film, and it's just turned off my stupid light again. keep it black. Let's get rid of this gradient that's behind it, which is distracting. Fix that. Whoops. Maybe just a little bit of color. Not a lot, just a little bit. There. It's not real flashy or anything, but I don't really want it to be flashy because there's already the stuff in the middle that's your main focus of attention. It might not be enough. Yeah, I think players will get it after a bit of fiddling around. If not, I'll find out in play testing. There's things I can do to make it more more obvious. Okay, so if you've got that, I could have inside of my scene. Oh, you didn't get a chance to see that yet? Here, I'll show it to you again. Because there's one other part to it I'm a little bit proud of, just a little bit. All right, so you're playing your game, and you say, I want to go to a different level than the one I'm at. So you hit escape, and you find the level you want, and then you just choose it. Then it goes in the little tunnel. There. So the thing I need to add to it is a little icon up at the top that says, okay, maybe you want to do settings. If so, click off to the right. And then you'd hit the right arrow key, and this whole hallway thing would just kind of shift over, and then you'd have your settings screen. And on that settings screen, there'd be the other icon, this little guy here. It means you can go back to the level selection screen. Thank you. I think what I will do in this session is I'll give myself a little modest goal, which is to get that little icon to appear on the screen that has the level selection. So I'll just go ahead and open up that other scene. Okay. Okay. And let's see. Maybe I just want one texture that'll have all my little icons and stuff on them. Or just to keep it simple to start, I'll put them in separate textures. That's what I'll do. Okay. So let's hide that. Get rid of this. Let's save this guy. We'll call it settings icon. Man, you had to talk about pizza and rice and beans and peanut butter sandwiches. Now you got me hungry. You throw some rice and beans and peanut butter on a loaf of bread. Throw some tomato sauce and cheese on it. Mmm. So now that I save them, I think they'll be in here. There we go. So I'm trying to remember how to get something over the top of everything else. It's called like GUI or something like that. It might be a canvas. Let me try. Actually, if I look inside a booter, there's screen fader. I think this is similar. No. Yes. Okay. Now I just want to see it. Is it? How do I get it visible? Doesn't seem right. Let me put that back down to 1. So what did I do different about screen fader? Oh, there's this other object here. Need a canvas. Has to be inside of a canvas. I think that's what happened. Okay. Okay, create. What's this event system? Did that just pop up just now? So if I create a canvas, I get an event system too? I don't need that. What's the event system for? Maybe there's a good reason for that, but I didn't need it for the other thing I did. So let's create an empty game object. Call this foreground UE. Not even just UE. That's clear enough. Then we'll add canvas this way. And let's go ahead and add the other stuff. Okay. Put the settings icon in there. It would be nice to be able to see this stuff. Why can I not see it yet? So what do I do here? Screen space overlay. There we go. Now we're seeing stuff. Don't want it to block raycast. Let's have it be top right anchored. There we go. The size is a little bit large. Try 50%. I think this is it. Look a little larger than that. Oh, I could get a little bit closer, right? Yeah. Okay. So I think that gives me an icon. Let's try it out. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's a session. I like to end right after I get done doing the thing I said I'd do. And it gives me like a good feeling, like I got something done. So instead of just continuing on to the next thing and being halfway finished with it, I will end with victory. And Plunderton, nice to have you hanging out. Always feel free to drop by. If you get to a point where you want to demo some snake game action, that's cool too. Whoever else is on, glad to have you here. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here with my crazy lights, and call that the end of it. All right, stopping the stream. Have an awesome night.